Many of us waking up below zero, and no, not the wind chill, but the actual air temperature. So dangerous cold does continue today. We're seeing plenty of ice out there on the Ohio River. No, it's not going to freeze over, but some of the smaller rivers around the tri-state will try to. The Little Miami, the Great Miami, the Licking as well. The Ohio, it's just one, it's not cold enough, but also it's not cold enough for long enough too. So we are picking up on some freezing fog around the tri-state right now, and that will make for a couple of slick spots around the tri-state where we do see it, which again is mainly around the open fields where we have a lot of snow right now still, and around the area waterways, generally where the ground is more cold. You tend to see a little bit more fog hugging those spots. It's 6 degrees here in Cincy. It feels like 6 with just the lightest breeze from the north, but wind chills, we'll check them out in a second, have been below zero across the tri-state. We'll see if anyone is still below zero right now. Now looking ahead, this morning was the coldest morning of this entire Arctic stretch, which means you could argue that tomorrow is a step in the positive direction, and it will be. Temperatures are going to be back in the 20s tomorrow afternoon and eventually the 30s, but that comes in with a chance for some snow that's going to be arriving as soon as Monday, but really come down on Tuesday. Before we start talking about that, it's not going to be anything compared to this last weekend. I'm not concerned about it. So, as of 10 o'clock this morning, we have been in the freezer for 209 hours in Cincinnati. So we haven't been in the above freezing part since January 22nd, which not this last Thursday, but the Thursday before that. And we're likely going to see this number try to double. We're more than likely going to get above freezing a little bit closer to a week from yesterday, which, yes, it's feeling better now than it did a couple of hours ago, but it's still bitterly cold. 6 degrees in Cincy, a very blue look to our downtown cam. I'm sure it's just because the camera just needs some adjusting, but again, the fog being seen around some parts of the tri-state. So all of us no longer below zero with these air temperatures, but we still have Middletown at 0, Hillsborough at 1, Hamilton at 2, Wilmington at 3, same thing with the Lunkett Airport, and Georgetown. We've only got one spot in the teens, and that is Falmouth in Pendleton County, where our wind chill is 0. Some of us still have wind chills below 0, Wilmington, Hillsborough, Georgetown, West Union, Maysville, and Greater Cincy, close to the Lunkett Airport too. And with such bitter wind chills, bitter cold air temperatures, we still have these cold weather advisories through noon today. Then through the middle of the day, we're not going to have an advisory, but more advisories have been issued for tonight. Everywhere in the tri-state, we'll have another cold weather advisory tonight. No extreme cold warnings anymore. That's the good news. We're away from extreme cold warning, but we're still in cold weather advisory. They both kind of alert for the same thing. It's just that extreme cold warnings are typically worse than cold weather advisories, typically, right? So just make sure you're checking in on your people. Bring your pets inside. I hope you did that over a week ago. And of course, you guys know what to do about the pipes at this point. 12 degrees, your forecast high today. Cold weather alerts are going to be in effect starting tonight. It's around 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. And we're going to hang on to a good amount of clouds. You'll see some filtered sun, but it's not really going to do much, if anything, to these temperatures. And yeah, the wind chill is going to be below 0 at times throughout the day today. Now tomorrow, first alert weather morning, but then the afternoon is a little bit warmer. You might notice it, the low 20s, it's going to feel better. It's not going to feel necessarily normal. It'll be around 22. It'll feel closer to the teens, but we're at least a step in the right direction here. And it's because what we're going to see happen, we're seeing the clouds build right now, we're going to see a little bit more sun tomorrow as this center of high pressure nudges itself a little bit closer to us. It'll nudge itself east, bring with it just a lighter wind, which, yes, we'll see some fog developing over the next couple of mornings, kind of like what we see this morning. But the most important thing that this high pressure is going to be bringing with it, calm conditions, clear conditions, so some sun, but then also on the back side of it, it'll continue to push east. We're going to see a southerly breeze. That's going to happen Monday and Tuesday, and that's going to be bringing in temperatures back in the 30s. Today, barely into the teens. going to be bitterly cold. But if you have tickets to the Cyclones game, Star Wars night, puck drops at 4. It'll be a fun one. Cold outside, cold by the ice too, just not this cold. High today of 12 will be dropping to about 8 by the end of the game. And then it'll just keep on going. Again, freezing fog is going to be seen in spots tonight. 1 degree, that's your forecast low tomorrow morning. And we're going to see a little bit more improvement in regards to the temperature tomorrow, back in the 20s. So we do have a little chance for some freezing fog. It's eyeing southeastern Indiana. All the models are eyeing southeastern Indiana. But again, usual spots, the Lunken Airport, airports in general, big open fields. And then you also have the area waterways too. It'll burn off pretty quickly. That's your biggest impact to your Sunday, besides the cold, of course. And then Monday and Tuesday, that's when our chance for snow does start to creep back in. And like I mentioned a few minutes ago, it's not going to be amounting to anything close to what we saw this last weekend. However, it will be enough to make the roads slick in spots. It'll be enough to add a nice fresh layer of snow on top of potentially some ice that's developed on top of the snow. Because if you have snow for so long, sometimes you'll see a little layer of ice try to develop. I mean, it's hard to step on that ice and sink into it, but a little bit of snow you'll add on top of it. Here's what it looks like on your weather timeline. Again, this weekend is just some intervals of clouds and sun. You'll see more sun tomorrow than you will today. And then Monday rolls in, there's the tiniest little chance for some snow that day, mainly north of Cincy, whereas the rest of us, including Cincy, are gonna have to likely wait until Tuesday, that better chance for some snow. And no, it's not gonna be bringing in heavy, week disrupting snow, but of course it's just a little bit more snow to go on top of what's already fallen. So while this system is not looking as moisture packed, it is still coming in from the south, and so we're still picking up on the possibility of maybe 2 inches in parts of northern Kentucky. However, any small changes in that track that you see could and will change the whole forecast, right? So if we see that track go any farther north, it would bring heavier snow chances with it. It might even bring the chance for some mixing as well. It depends how far north it were to track. If we're going to go south, it would bring the chance for snow with it. We would likely see the chance for snow lighten up altogether, maybe become non-existent for us. It's just something to keep an eye on. And then we work into your late week, watching out for a chance of snow again on Friday morning. That one's looking like it'll impact the commute. Just something to keep an eye on. Most of the moisture looks north of the tri-state. That's the good news here. And then rain in the forecast. Yeah, we'll see a little bit of it, and that's because we've got temperatures in that first alert extended forecast that are gonna be above the freezing point. It's gonna be so good. First time in a long time, over 200 hours, and then by Friday it'll be closer to about 400, maybe 450. But regardless, it'll be a nice little warm welcome, relatively warm welcome. Anyways, we've got a few more first alert weather days. We are on day 1, 2, I think we're on day 9 in a row of first alert weather days, and we're going to add one for tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. Today, tomorrow, it's about the cold. Monday, Tuesday, it's about the snow and a little bit of the cold too, especially Monday morning, Groundhog Day morning. So we go from 12 this afternoon to 22 tomorrow afternoon, still in the 20s for Groundhog Day on Monday, and then Tuesday, 30s. Haven't seen that in a long time. However, with the arrival of the snow still eyeing like the middle of the day, it might keep us from hitting freezing, in which case we would have to wait until Friday to even get to that point. Yeah, which means we still have almost a week in the freezer. Okay, let's see if we have any questions. Melvin's tuning in. Hi, Erin. Is it going to warm up? Yes, eventually. Just not this weekend. You will notice it becoming warmer, I'd say by Monday, but then Tuesday, really. As far as snow melt goes, it's going to struggle. It's going to be a very slow melt. Stephanie's saying it's very cold. Yes. JD, how are you doing today? What is the weather for Canton tomorrow morning? Very cold in Canton, probably a few flurries with the northwesterlies, and I'm doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Erin's tuning in. Hope you're doing well on this Saturday, Erin. You too, Erin. Thank you so much. JD sees the sun. That's wonderful. That's good. Jake's tuning in. Wood stove is a must for the winters, I imagine. I imagine. Jess is tuning in. I need warm weather because this cold isn't helping my aches and pains in my back. Yeah, it's absolutely a real thing that people with a little bit more sensitivity in those areas will see it exacerbated by the cold. So yeah, I mean, we've been in the cold, we'll stay in the cold, and unfortunately those aches and pains will probably continue. Hopefully you're able to take lots of breaks inside. Even if you don't have aches and pains, hopefully you guys are able to take plenty of breaks inside over the next few days because this cold is not going anywhere. As far as the high temperatures in the teens, that does end today. We do feel better as soon as tomorrow, at least look better in the temperatures. And then we really start to notice it being warmer on Tuesday. Of course, we do start to dip back into the 20s, but let's focus on that 30. I'm eyeing that 30. We'll let you know if that chance for some snow starts to change a little bit. I'll have that information for you guys tonight, actually, right here where you stream Fox 19. I'll be back tonight at 6 o'clock. But for now, signing off here in Queens Gate, I'm meteorologist Erin Ashley. Have a great rest of your Saturday.